What is up, guys and gals? It's me, Thomas Fan01 here, and today we are back at it again with another Transformer figure review. And today we're actually going to be taking a look at a figure that I honestly thought I already looked at ages ago, but apparently I didn't. Apparently this figure has just remained elusive, and I just didn't even bother to look at it from that point till now. So, anyways, here we are. We're going to be taking a look at the Transformer Studio Series 86 Cup. And I gotta say, this is quite possibly one of the best versions of Cup that we've ever gotten to date. Let's quickly just take a quick look at this vehicle mode here that we got. And I gotta say, it is quite nice. Let's see if we can get the camera to focus. Focus, camera, focus. Yes, we want you to focus, camera. Not brighten, but we want you to focus. So, there we go. Anyways, so he's a Cybertronian truck, I think. Yeah, and he comes with two accessories, and I do have the box floating around here somewhere. I just don't remember where I've misplaced it. It's been so long. So, anyways, he comes with his candy dispenser, which I think is kind of funny that they chose to go with the candy dispenser, but I mean, it's nice that they even bothered to do that at all. And he comes with this nice little blaster. Unfortunately, it's not Blast Effects compatible, so that's an unfortunate. And these things can store on him. You can store them on the roof of his truck. You can store them on the tailgate of his truck. But you want to put it in between where the Autobot logo is. And there are these tabs on both things here. There's one on the gun. And there is one on this side of the candy dispenser. So you're going to take that and you're just going to plug that right on in there. And there you have your weapon storage. So yeah, but we're going to remove these weapons because, you know, that's not the whole point of taking a look at this figure. So anyways, let's get into some scale comparisons because you all know we love those scale comparisons. Let's lower this camera down a bit here as well. So anyways, here he is next to a modern figure. Here he is next to the newly released Studio Series 86 Bone Crusher, Deluxe class Bone Crusher to be specific, who's a little top heavy. Just a little top heavy. Not all the way, but a little bit. Here he is next to the Thrilling 30s Deluxe Class RC. Been a minute since y'all have probably heard that one. Alright, and here he is with another modern figure. Here he is next to the Age of the Primes Leader Class Megatronus. It's a little entertaining to see this next to that. So, yeah. Alright. And now let's take a look. Here he is next to the Studio Series 86 Commander Class Optimus Prime. The definitive Optimus Prime for Studio Series. At least Studio Series 86. And finally, here he is next to Kingdom Rodimus. And I gotta say, when we get these guys into robot mode, or at least this guy into robot mode, it's going to be a little bit more entertaining. So, yeah. Alright, so now let's get him into his robot mode. And I gotta say, it's an interesting transformation. In fact, there are a few things that made me question my morality and everything of that nature. So, but I have since then been to therapy. So let's continue with this. So I'm going to take this tailgate bit or the tail bed, and you're going to split it, and then you're going to flip it all the way up, and that's just going to untab from the hand, and it just goes right into the hand slot. So yeah, I'm going to lift this up and bring that there. Then you're going to untab this section from the front of the truck here and just swing this all the way down like so. And then you're going to come to this section right here, flip out the toe, and collapse all this down. Do the same thing on the other side. Let's just get this out of the way first. Come on. There we go. Fold that down. Just untab that. And shift this all the way down till you hear it kind of click into place. Or nicely softly go into place if I must. So Then we're going to come to this top section here. We're going to untab it, and it just tabs into this very loosely here. And we're going to spread the legs a little bit, split the arms outward like so. And then we're going to take this whole bit up here and just bring it all the way on up like so. And this is where things are going to get fun. Yeah, so I'm going to fold in the wheels here. Just fold all of this beautiful stuff on in there. And then you're going to take this piece and you're just going to bring this back, and that's going to close on top of it. And let's just straighten everything out real quick. And then this is going to fold all the way down, and these two tab slot sections are going to go right into these wheel sections. So it's all just going to tab in. At least in theory it will. So yeah, there you go. Now I'm going to take the head, going to rotate it around. Take these bits, fold them till they kind of softly tab into place. Let's make sure we straighten out the legs here. Oh my goodness, I forgot about the one issue with these legs. You have to fold this out because that's going to untab this shin piece from this bit right there. And then you're going to close it back up, and then you're going to have the legs completed. Do the same thing on the other side. Take that, straighten it out, make sure it's all complete. Then take this. Let's finish out these shoulder blades, and then you're going to take this, and it's just going to rotate back into place like so. So it's just going to go like this and just pop into place like that, and swivel the arms around just enough, and there we have it. Everything all nice and hunky-dory. Everything is all good to go. Hooray! And there we got Cup in his robot mode, and I gotta say, it's quite a nice looking Cup mode, but we're not done yet. We're not quite done yet. Y'all know what we do. Here, give him his gun, and then we got a nice little, here's his candy dispenser, and we just pop that into his hand, and there we have Studio Series 86 Deluxe Class Cup in his robot mode. And I gotta say, it's a beautiful looking robot mode, especially like from when this came out in 2019. I was still pretty pleased with that this was the mold they chose. 2019, that was a very fun year for Studio Series 86. 2019 to 2020, that was a very good year for Studio Series 86. So, yeah. So anyways, we'll get him into his scale comparisons, and then we shall get into final thoughts with also some bonus features with this character, because this character does come with a couple bonus features. And one of them we can't unfortunately take a look at because that bonus feature is in its box, and I cannot remember for the life of me where that box is in my sea of boxes in my closet on a shelf. So anyways, so let's get him into scale comparisons. But firstly, let's take a quick look at this robot mode. I gotta say, Hasbro, what were you guys cooking with when you guys came up with these designs? Like, some of these designs are wonderful. I think these cub pieces could have been shaved down a little thinner, but you know, I can't complain too much on it. It's still beautiful. It still pulls off the look. It still looks amazing, and I just can't complain on that front with it. So, yeah. Oh, there is one thing you might want to try doing, and that is, if you can, so his head, if you're able to do it properly, you can get it to tab in this back section, to tab into the this is where I don't like this, but there we go. But if you can get these to tab in properly, and then you don't have to worry about his head and neck joint, or his head and his shoulder plate there moving around. So my apologies on that front. So let's get him into scale comparisons now, and we'll show off some cool stuff with him, and then we shall get into the final thoughts, and then we shall get into the ranking. So anyways, there he is there, and here he is next to Studio Series 86 Bone Crusher. I think it's kind of entertaining that they decided to literally give us Bone Crusher and the Devastator figures not in Wave 1. Then they just decided to do this in the final the final bits of Studio Series 86, because next year, by the way, next year is the very last year of Studio Series 86. It has been confirmed by Hasbro. Next year, we're getting maybe like 20 figures of Studio Series 86, and then it's over. So, yeah. Anyways, here he is next to the Thrilling 30s RC. Here he is next to the leader class Age of the Primes Megatronus. Here he is next to Studio Series 86 Commander class Optimus Prime. I gotta say, looks quite nice standing next to him. And finally, here we have him standing next to his buddy, his old pal, Rodimus Prime. Yes, yes. So, anyways. All right. So, actually, we'll leave Rodimus Prime right here because this next feature, it mainly pertains to do with the box, and it also mainly pertains to do with the Studio Series 86 Hot Rod, but because I don't have that figure anymore, because I disliked it a lot. Take note, I was not a big fan of Studio Series 86 Hot Rod, but I'm also a much better fan of this one, of Rodimus there. So, but anyways, keeping him off into the background here. If you recall, in the Studio Series 86 movie, and to which, by the way, the reason they're canning it next year is because that's when the Transformers the movie turns 40 years old, by the way. But here we have Cup, and there is one feature that a lot of kids were very confused about with at first, but you can, in fact, rip off his limbs, and you can have him laying next to Hot Rod of the Nature, saying something along the lines of, "Fix me," that kind of deal. So, but you can totally do that with your Cup figure. You don't have to, but it is a fun little accessory thing that they made so you can do that. Something else you can do as well is you can also swap the arms and legs for armorizer parts or fossilizers or weaponizer or whatever the heck izer it be. So, yeah, that's what we've got going on with that. And we shall straighten it all back out. So, let's remove Hot Rod off to the side, or not Hot Rod, Rodimus Prime off to the side now. But here we have Cup once again, and like I said, I definitely dig this. So now let's get into the ranking of this figure. Now, if I had the box, it would be a little cooler because that would show it actually show the scene where you see him and Hot Rod underwater and all that cool stuff. So, but I'm gonna save a lot more of the stuff that goes on in that scene specifically because I don't want to spoil too much for people who have not seen the movie, to which if you haven't seen the movie, next year is the 40th anniversary of that movie. You've had 40 years to watch it. Anyways, so where do I have to rank this figure? Well, my one thing and my smallest complaint is that there's not enough paint on the head crown here. Like, there's not enough of it. Like, I wish it was a little bit of a more gray instead of this, like, turquoise blue or green kind of color that's going on with it, but I digress. There's not much I can change about that. I'm not Hasbro. So, with that being said, I am going to give this figure a good, let's give it a good 8.5 out of 10. I gotta give it some good stuff because of the playability. It gets an 8.5 for the playability. The transformation wasn't total torture. The accessories are extremely on point. The coloration of the figure, once again, I don't hate the way that the paint looks or how it is applied. I just wish there was a little bit more on the top of the head. Not to mention, there's nice weapon storage on there, at least in vehicle mode. Not so much in robot mode. You can't really do much with it, but I mean, that's not really the point. The point that you would be doing is that you would be having this in this hand and you would be having this in the other. So, yep, I think this thing deserves an 8.5 for that and the playability. I also got to give him credit for giving us the whole, ripped off arms and legs deal from the movie. I totally can get on board. I can get on board with that. So, yeah. Anyways, this is Thomas Fan 01 saying, do not forget to subscribe for more content. Don't forget to leave a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe to Hubcore. That's right. I didn't forget this time. Hubcore, the winner of the Naruto Transformers crossover thing that we did a little bit ago. So congratulations to him. You are now getting, here's not a, blah, blah. Now I can't talk, but here is now a piece of your prize for at least the next 3 reviews that we are doing. we are going to be giving you your shout outs. So anyways, so do not forget to check out Hubcore. Do not forget to check out Jordy's Rail videos, Patrick with a Y, iStar552, Bravely GG, Take Along Productions, The Good, the Bad, the Awesome, Riveted Rail Fan, Riveted Reviews, Lemon Lime Productions, Skibbity Jacket, Marvelous Ball, Kitten Cat 999, Corey Tucker, and, let's see, who shall I throw out? Let's also throw out TrusterTube and Zaga the Animator. Why not? Let's throw them out there and under the bus so they all can get some exposure, because all of these people are fans of the show, friends of the channel, and very, very good viewers who have just tuned in for said live streams, to which, by the way, if we do ever do live streams again, which we will be getting back to those once we get more Transformers and Lego sets coming through, so please be on the lookout for some of that stuff in the near future. Anyways, this is Thomas Fan 01 saying do not forget to check all of those people out I mentioned prior, and do not forget to check out, do not forget to check out the Transformers review playlist and the Studio Series 86 playlist, which I will leave a link to down in the description below. And do not forget to leave a comment about what type of figure, or maybe not what type of figure, what Transformer you want to see me do next within a reasonable budget. So, anyways, this is Thomas Fan 01 saying do not forget to keep playing with your toys. Goodbye.